What?
American flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Texas flag. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Go pray with me. Dear Heavenly Father, just thank you for another day to show your light and love to those we encounter. God, I thank you for the cooler weather and the moisture you sent this weekend. I pray that that continues. God, I lift up our county, our residents, and our staff. I just thank you for each one of them. I pray a special blessing on each and every one of them, God. Just be with us as we make the decisions of the county, God. Just give us wisdom and guidance that we do things that'll honor our residents and our staff the best way possible, God. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Okay, the first item on the agenda is public comments. Do not see that there is anybody out of the ordinary here. All right, the consent agenda. Does anyone have any questions or anything they need to pull off of the consent agenda? Discussion. Do I hear a motion?
Move to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second again.
Okay, we have a motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Right, on the regular agenda, the first item on the agenda is to consider and or approve the 2025 term of court. So these are the Commissioners Court meeting dates. But before we approve those in the term of court, I want to move on down to the next item, which is the holiday schedule for 2025. So you've got the proposed holiday schedule. I believe there was one holiday that was added, which is Monday, October 13th. Is that correct? That was the only one that was added. Right. So that's just a suggestion from a lot of our employees who have school-age children because the schools are out that day. I think is there one other day they're out, but you didn't put that on, or was that Martin Luther King? But not all the schools are out that day, right? But they're all out Columbus Day. So just to kind of follow their schedule, it was suggested that we might want to add that. So do I hear some discussion on that?
So are we replacing another day or just adding a day?
Just adding a day. We didn't take anything off, right?
I didn't know.
So we normally have 11 holidays. So 10 actual holidays and then the floating.
There's Martin Luther King on there. It's not on this.
We don't take that one.
Okay. So there's Martin Luther King.
We take President's Day. Yeah. I think the only other change wasn't there another change on Easter? Instead of Good Friday, which we're off that day, then so we take Thursday off normally, is to move the holiday to Monday because that's also a day that the kids are out of school, correct? just trying to follow that school schedule, I think was the intent. For those people who do have school age children.
Some of the difficult things are going to be all three schools have different holidays and different.
Did y'all not look at that? I think they looked at that and they all have Monday off instead of
Well, they
I'm
have
just not.
Friday and
they
Monday.
have Friday and Monday. I think most of all the schools do. The thing is, since Good Friday, we're already off on that Friday.
So we normally take Thursday off.
Yeah, I'm not
Since, Easter's on Sunday, everybody celebrates that. A lot of people go out of town.
not talking about that one. I'm talking about it in general. I'm saying like we get that holiday, the next year, Thanksgiving, they have a full week, but then there's different teacher in-service days and all that stuff that it's gonna be a lot of, the holidays aren't the same.
Well, they're off like today.
Right,
We can't be off every day they're off.
right.
But, we could, but then we would never work.
So I'm saying, what calendar are we gonna base it on? Cause that one's gonna be a universal, but there's gonna be other days where there's like in-service, or they might get a Friday or a Monday. So are we gonna, whose kids are we gonna base it on?
We approve,
Sit on, it's hard to do that, of course, because there's a lot of days there. There was some like Martin Luther King, Day. Some of the employees had requested that, or Columbus Day. That was just something that was brought to our attention, so we brought it to y'all's attention, so.
Easter sounds more logical to use Monday instead of Thursday.
Right.
yeah, I think that's half a dozen, one or the other, because we do give everyone Thursday off.
I'd be okay with what you're doing.
Let's see.
Yeah. We're gonna cap it. Doesn't matter to me. I'm gonna add another
We do
next
this
year.
every year.
Well, we added a different one, minus 11, right?
We haven't added the one,
Well, I'm saying this time,
this time.
it's gonna go from 11 to 12. And so are we gonna cap it at some point, or are we gonna just have a discussion where one year we're gonna have to be the bad guys because we're gonna have to say no?
Oh, yeah, I think,
We either need to cap it, like plan now, or next year might be MOK, or like you said, Juneteenth, or,
You saying cap it at 12?
I don't know. I'm just saying we need to have a plan. Because there's gonna be one year where we're gonna have to say no without having a policy, and people are gonna get mad. So,
You do this every year or something, every year you can set it whatever it has to be.
Yeah, as long as you do it every year, I don't think it matters. Set anything.
because now, once we add it, 12 will be the bottom. They're gonna expect 12 every year. We can't go back.
right,
So-
right. Once we add it, I think it's pretty
Saying-
much on the agenda. Or on the schedule, but
Well,
I
like
guess
next
you
year,
could take it off if no,
I'm gonna say next year you take it away, then the blowback from that, it's gonna be more
We
than,
get those all the time.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. Are we gonna cap it?
That's normal
That's what
run.
I'm saying, what's the vision of what are we gonna do? Are we gonna?
Kind of get immune to those things.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, I know. Just saying, we need a plan though, because now the bottom is 12. If we approve that, and so we can't go back. They'll always expect us to go forward, to add another.
to add more days
Right.
instead of
So
taking.
what is it always? Has it always been 11? I don't really know the answer.
No, at one time it was 10. And then they added. What they add? Veterans Day?
The floating.
Well, we've always had a floating holiday. It was either Veterans Day or President's Day that they added. Can't remember. But it seems like one year we had Columbus Day off. So I don't know. I have to go back and research that, but
So this is setting Columbus Day specifically. So next year, if the kids go to school on Columbus Day, we would still be off, right?
If we chose,
Yeah, that's how you said it.
But basically, yes, because I'm not gonna go backwards, because the amount of blowback from that's worse than saying no to like 12 or 13 holidays.
You know,
But, yeah,
I mean, if,
Holiday, I guess, I mean, that makes everybody happy. There's a lot of people that wanted Martin Luther King, Juneteenth, Columbus Day. So,
The good-
no matter what, it's gonna make somebody.
I mean, the good thing about working here is you have a good bank of vacation days anyway that you can use.
Never ends.
Exactly, and you have the upcoming holidays.
I mean, They can use their vacation wherever they need it.
Mhm.
yeah,
Wouldn't hurt my feelings if we just had 11, just left it at 11.
yeah, it might be best to just stay with 11. I don't know.
Stay with the schedule we've got.
Mhm.
That, is that a motion or?
Somebody's gonna be a bad guy, right?
I'll make the motion. I'll make it. Let's just leave it at 11.
So not do Columbus Day.
Yeah.
So no on Columbus Day? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, either that or President's Day.
So we've still got, we've got 10 holidays with the floating makes 11. Not that this makes any difference at all, but I did text a lot of my judge friends and they have at least these holidays with maybe one more.
So
They have
That makes any
11 or
difference.
12.
Yeah,
What do most counties have?
well, the ones I texted had all of these that are on our list.
Including Columbus Day.
Yeah,
So they have 12 then.
they really try to follow their school calendar. Of course, they might only have one school in their whole county.
I think that's the main thing is
And our
trying to
bank,
follow the school calendar. That way.
Yeah, the
Post
bank
office
Official
closed.
banks and post office closed.
Uh,
You know, that's a federal holiday, right? So banks and post offices are
and a
closed.
lot of times we're slow, when banks and post offices are closed. Just,
Hmm.
That, when I texted just to get a rough, like, what do y'all do? It was, they follow school schedules, except for just teacher in service days, but like holidays that the kids are out. And they look at banks and, if they're closed and just kind of the days that most of the people are closed.
I don't know.
So that's just a thought.
Yeah, but when you start adding the banks and the post office being.
We can't be closed as much as federal government.
Right, and I was gonna say, I mean, that's Martin Luther King Day, that's
Yeah.
Juneteenth for sure. So, I mean, we based on that, we'll be here next year adding 13, 14. I mean, I'm fine with adding Columbus. I think we need to have a vision of where, like, what, if we make this choice, what are we gonna do next? Like,
Well, I guess that's,
But like Columbus Day is fine as long as it coincides with the schools. Then I wouldn't have a problem with it.
right. And I think they are always off. They use it as maybe a teacher in service day. No, they are
actually-
off.
it's Martin Luther.
Okay.
Hmm.
I'm good with this schedule. If that's just my opinion.
We have a plan. I know you already made a motion, but Columbus Day would be fine if it coincides with the schools. If the schools are not closed that day. But it's kind of makes it kind of family day.
Okay, so would you all be okay with this schedule and say we've capped it at this, that 11 holidays plus one floating, 12 holidays, period?
what's the breakdown of people that said Columbus versus Martin Luther King?
There
What'd you
was just
say?
a couple, like there was a couple and
Not many.
yeah. The needed either one of those holidays.
Because they could take their floating holiday for the other one,
Correct. Or vice versa,
or vice versa.
however y'all want to do it, but.
I'm fine with Columbus Day and not a floating holiday.
Okay, we have a motion on the table to accept the schedule minus Columbus Day. Was there a second for that?
Mm-mm. Mm. I didn't get a second.
Mm,
No? Okay, then that motion dies for lack of a second. Is there a motion to accept the proposed holiday schedule or do y'all want to talk about it some more?
If we make the motion for this, can we also just state that this is capped at 12?
Absolutely.
And
Put that in your
just
motion.
Have that our policy somewhat. I'll make the motion to approve the schedule as presented, with it being capped at 12 total holidays.
So it's actually 11 holidays and one floating. Yeah, which 12? Yeah.
11, yeah, it's 12 total.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Okay, thank you. All right, so then let's go back up to the term of court and we'll need to make one adjustment because I proposed the term of court schedule meeting on Monday, which would be our regular meeting date. So we would have to change that to Tuesday, October 14th. And other than that, are y'all good with that schedule? Do I hear a motion to accept the term of court?
Move to accept the term of court with the change as presented.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion on that? All in favor? Okay, thank you. And I have, I need y'all to sign this. Y'all will sign this. All right, item 3 is to consider and or approve the resignation of Clay Rennick, Museum Director, effective December 31st, 2024. I believe y'all each got a packet from Clay, just kind of detailed some of the things that the museum has achieved while he's been director and his intention to resign as of the 31st. Questions? Do I hear a motion?
Move to approve the retirement and resignation of Clay Rennick effective December 31st, 2024.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Clay's done a great job at the museum. He's going to be hard to replace. All right, item 4 is to consider and or approve the Panhandle Auto Burglary Theft Unit contract. This is with the DA's office. I think this is on the agenda for Hansford County today also. And Mark's already approved, looked it over legally, so. Do I hear a motion?
Move to approve the Panhandle Auto Burglary Theft Unit contract.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor? I'm gonna wait and see if Yum sends one over signed and then we'll just find the same one. Right, item 5 is to consider and or approve changes to the Hutchinson County policies. This was attached on the Civic Plus for the cell phone allowance for certain officials or employees who are on call in the amount of up to $50 a month for the use of an employee's personal cell phone. So would they still have to provide their bill?
It's,
Do what?
it says that.
Yeah. In the last sentence. And they will receive up to 50.
There's a lot of people that's on call that's not always necessarily called out. Like if there's a fire, every road and bridge employee could be called out. Eddie Watson could be called out for maintenance.
Eddie already gets a phone allowance.
Oh, yeah, but, a lot of people could be called out that not always are, so.
I think that, in the case of the road and bridge, the on-call person that's expected to answer his phone is Dwayne. Dwayne makes the calls from there.
Well, so is Chico, because
Yeah, and Chico.
They both already get.
Yeah, they already get a cell phone allowance, but
but
they make the call.
somebody that's on call, well, anytime there's potential for fire, they're all on call. And they do
Also
get
says
called.
that Hutchinson County may provide, so they're not required to. So I guess you can choose.
It kind of puts it coming back to us to,
Uh-huh.
that kind of puts it coming back to us to make that call on.
This will be a case by case.
As long as we remember our cases.
So the point is, if you're gonna have case by case, it needs to be put in the policy case by case.
Well, that's why it says may. That's where we get to choose who gets the cell phone allowance instead of will. I'm correct on that, right, Leisha?
Yes.
Because that's what the policy committee decided. Anyone want to make a motion to accept that policy change? It really didn't change much, did it? Because that's what we were doing, but then we decided to pay a flat fee, but we didn't want to do that, so we're back to what we have done, basically.
Well, the wording, we changed the wording to may and then,
Changed it from
Yes,
will
to May, yes.
and I don't think this wasn't in policy about turning in their bill.
Providing the bill. We
Just
just had them do that.
unwritten.
Yeah, I think we put it actually in the policy now. So do I hear a motion?
I move to approve the cell phone policy as presented.
Second?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Okay. All right, item 6, to consider and or approve cell phone allowances for sheriff deputy captains. So this would be our 2 captains at the sheriff's department who are not currently getting a cell phone allowance.
There are 2 that aren't, but I believe only 1 has turned in.
Yes, only one has turned in their bill and we've reached out to the other one multiple times and have not been able to get that back, so.
Right. Okay, well,
You can only call him so many times, he said he would get it.
if this passes, then I would say, I mean, if we make motion, then we'll just provide cell phone allowance for the people who are actually in compliance with our policy.
What does turning in the bill have to do with it? Obviously, everybody's got a cell phone.
If it's less than $50, let's say it's less than $50, then we pay whatever.
We had this huge discussion last time, remember? Instead of paying a flat fee, because y'all said, no, if their bill's less than that, they should only get that amount. They shouldn't make money on their cell phone. So,
Yeah, because if you give me an allowance up to 100, I'm gonna go find a Cricket for $20 and make $80 a month.
right?
And add it to mine. So it just it's more accountability.
Which there are some people whose cell phone is less than the 50.
That's not.
No, 3,
Months.
I think, that are under the 50.
Hmm.
More common than it used to be.
Yeah.
See, mine's 40 with, and I get hotspot and all that stuff. So I would, on the $100 thing, I would only need to make 40. Just a lot of competition out there now driving the prices down.
Mhm. Okay, do I hear a motion?
So
They have to be in compliance with our policy.
So the other one, once they turn theirs in, will be eligible to get it if we, I mean, well, I could just,
Each time the way we go, I mean, this is the way, and that's up to y'all if y'all want to do that, but each person that comes in with their cell, so if there's a new person, we take it to commissioner's court and then y'all approve it.
Based on what they've submitted.
Right, for that individual. So if he brings us the bill, then I'll put it back on the agenda to get it approved through y'all. If y'all want to approve it now. But really and truly, there's no way to approve this.
Because we don't have paperwork. So then this would be the cell phone allowance for the captain who has provided the necessary paperwork. Okay. All right, did I hear?
Policy says they're not gonna get it if they don't provide the paperwork, right?
Well, it says they have to do that, yeah.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Okay, do I hear a motion?
move to approve the cell phone allowance for the captain who is currently in compliance with the policy.
I'll second it.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor? All right, 7 is to consider and or approve the appointment of 2 members to the tax increment reinvestment zone, the tiers board. So when they started the tiers zone board, the tiers board, I guess it's tiered zone, that would be repetitive. Our representatives were Chris, and we had a representative from the public. And I have not reached out to that person because we thought we might get someone else to represent the county, but I just haven't come up with anybody. Do y'all have any suggestions? It's really beneficial to have Chris on the board, one, because he has a business in the zone area, so he can kind of represent the county and through that, and he has a vested interest in that. And the other individual that we had was living in Borger, but then he moved away. So it kind of seemed pointless to have that individual on the board. But I think now well, I know that he's moved back, but I don't know if he still owns property in the zone or not. So they haven't met in quite a while. They probably meet, I think, quarterly. They should, right?
Now that, yeah, I don't think,
Mouse. Yeah, well, never mind that ghost back there. Alicia's not turning her back on that.
because man, the size of that plant, you can have like a small group of people.
Right? I know.
So what all does this zone encompass?
So the tiers, basically they've started adding money. It's a tax zone.
And it starts like up like in the gym hall area.
Yeah, so it
Kind of
goes,
swoops in that, goes all the way down Main Street, all the way. It encompasses that Lancelot area where they're building off of Galahad, where they're building those new houses. That's kind of the zone. And it was to give people incentive to reinvest, right? Or to invest in that and to,
so a portion of the
Build
tax
that up.
money will go into that zone and it can only be used for upgrades in that zone. And the purpose is, it's kind of like Polk Street and Amarillo. That was a tiers zone that they can use the money for infrastructure and things like that. And so,
in the zone.
right, only in the zone. And so public services in the zone, not private entities. I mean, they're not using it for private businesses or residences. But it's just an area that Borger saw as a potential need to be able to build that up in different ways, whether that's drainage, streetlights. the big
Housing.
Main Street. So the last couple of years, there wasn't money in the fund. And so just like the Polk Street thing, you have to wait a couple of years for it to add up. And so we haven't really met, I think, in 5 years. And so now that there is money in that, we have to start meeting. There's 2 representatives from each taxing entity. So the school board will have a few, the
City.
city, and then there's 2
Just the hospital?
public. No,
Oh,
that's what I was trying to say. I misspoke when I said every taxing entity, because the college doesn't have one and the hospital doesn't have one. There's the city, the school district, us, and then there's public residents that are tapped.
It's a school district, but it's the school district in that zone.
Right.
Chris has agreed to be reappointed.
So you're saying there's 2 for me.
We have 2 spots that we can, yes.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, and I don't remember us being responsible for the
I
second
think,
one. but-
no, honestly think that Garrett said, hey, this person would be okay to be on the board and as a public member. And we were, it's so new then, we were like, oh, okay. So I kind of think that's, if I remember correctly, how that came about.
But it's not a lot of excitement with very little pay. So whoever wants to fight it out for a spot on it can.
You have to live in the zone.
No, the other individual that we had on didn't live in the zone, but he owned property in the zone.
Mhm.
And I think that's why they thought he would probably be a good member from the public,
Hmm.
but I think we just need someone to represent Hutchinson County. Whoever that is.
Does it have to be today for the second one? Because we're gonna meet. He hadn't posted the meeting yet, but we can have a contest to whoever emails first. Whoever shows the most excitement.
Well, I don't know
mean,
that Garrett said there was any, like, oh my gosh, we gotta do this.
Mhm.
We're running on a time,
Right.
but
I think since the Main Street projects are starting to come back up, though, they're wanting to
yeah, to
start
meet.
it back
I know
up.
they,
Hopefully
yeah.
it's not anytime soon.
Well, maybe we
The
can,
project.
agree to appoint you today, and for our second individual, we can whoever emails me first and wants to do it gets appointed. Right.
Send an email right now.
You know.
But can I which it could be, anyone. But if y'all have suggestions, or if the county employees have a suggestion,
They all started like looking away and looking down.
right, like, so. I see you back there, Tammy. But see, you don't even live in Border, so, no, so. That takes a lot of people out of the mix. So let's think about that and put that on the agenda for the next time. We'll try to come up with someone, but if anyone has any ideas, shoot me an email. Otherwise, you might get voluntold. So. And see, y'all are safe out there.
We make the new museum director do it,
True that.
if it's that long.
Do what?
We can make.
Could make the new museum
whoever That's
director.
gonna be.
Museum in there.
Okay, that's a thought. All right, so do I hear a motion to reappoint Chris back to the TIRS board?
Move to reappoint Chris Prock to the tax increment reinvestment zone.
No, second
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Okay, abstain from the vote. All right. Thank you, Chris, for volunteering to do that. As it is,
Most fun I've ever had.
right?
Meeting in
it.
5.
Sounds like.
Right, that's the board I want to be on.
Right.
Okay, item 8 is to consider and or approve the Purple Wave agreement. So we've got the belly dump, a couple pickups over at the annex, and I've contacted Jensen at Purple Wave. He's got the contract to me. Craig has reviewed it. He's okay with it. So we just need to get this back to him. They're coming out tomorrow to get pictures and we'll get them on the auction. Do I hear a motion?
Move to approve the Purple Wave agreement.
Second.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Okay. The next item on the agenda is to consider and or approve the Axon contract for Constable Precinct 2. So as y'all remember, we agreed when Constable Hartreft presented to the Commissioners Court to get the body cam, the in-car camera, and those things from Axon, kind of like the Sheriff's Department was doing. But she's got a standalone contract because it wasn't going to work for her to be on the Sheriff's Department contract due to the storage of the confidential stuff, reports and stuff. So she's got her own contract. She emailed that to me last night about 9:50. And she said that she got the contract and Craig has reviewed it and doesn't have any issues with it. However, she did make note that on the contract, she went ahead with the 2 body cams instead of the 1 because they supposedly gave her a really great deal on equipment. So,
We understood they wasn't knocking off much for doing 1 over 2, were they?
No, she said in the email, I think she emailed all of it.
oh yeah, she did. Yes.
It's, I mean, it's only $120 more a year for 2, and she's taking out of her equipment budget. So, I mean, she's making it work with the budget we approved. And she mentioned, I don't know, I mean, it might have been the same email. She said that her kid was.
Yeah, here's a doctor's appointment. Yeah, she sent that to all of us if y'all had a chance to look at that. So here is the contracts she sent me. Wanna look at the, oh, you got them?
Yeah, my
Oh, well, everyone should have got those.
laptop's not signing in well.
So the total contracts is 16,606. Is that right?
That's for the,
Or am I reading this right?
yes, body cam. The, body cam, camera,
So
storage,
camera. That's everything total. It's
thing.
There are 3 different.
Yeah, there are 3 different. That one's 16, this one's 11, and the other one's 8.
Well, the body cams are 60.
The body cams are 16, the in-car and the taser is 8. The in-car one is 11,
You got 16, you got 11,
8. 3 different contracts, of which we did approve for her budget. The original one that she sent for the body camera, which was back in September, I got one on September the 3rd, but that might have been a different one. Was 13. Which was one body cam. So it was 13.
It's the two.
Oh, oh yeah, for the 2.
36 on
So it was 17 for the 2, but now they've dropped it to 16.
Mhm. That's just for the
For
extra,
2.
both of them.
So, if you all have questions and if you want me to try to see if we can get her on, then, do you want to talk to her about this contract? We can move on until we can get her on. What do y'all?
So the way this is worded, you gotta do the 16,606, the 11,8208,
Right, there's 3 different contracts.
which comes to
About 36,000 altogether, right?
somewhere in there.
So
And
But
we have her budget that we approved.
We've already
what's that?
approved that.
Right, what's the amount in there?
so that's them together. That's for 2 of them.
Where?
And the taser and the buddy.
Yeah,
Or
that's-
the-
That's everything with the extra.
It's 35, 871, 70.
I added about 7,500.
Because we were gonna pay it so we're gonna pay the monthly, for 5 years. So,
So on that, like on each report thing that you'll see, if y'all are talking, if you're wanting to know every year, like, it's not 30, look at do you have them printed off?
Oh, it does.
Look on page, do you have the bills printed off,
Mhm.
the contract? If you'll look on like the 4th page, she has the yearly thing broken down.
I haven't seen that yet. Well, yeah, maybe I did.
Like they'll have, let me see,
Let's see.
it's
Yeah, here's,
2,598
it'll say payment details and it'll tell
Yeah.
you
yeah,
per year.
like page 5 on the on the,
650,
like if you'll go down.
33, 21, 26.
So yeah, if y'all are talking every year, that's not gonna be 36,000 this year.
Yeah.
Now, we're paying it out in 5 years.
Right.
1, 2, 3,
It's 10,000
4, 5.
for is what, oh, thank you. I was trying to read it off.
Oh,
my
no.
phone. Oh. Can't even hardly read it with my glasses on. So, that's what we've approved for the monthly
Annual.
or annual, I'm sorry. Annual. That'd be a lot.
I think it was about, I want to say 7,500 for that, for those 3 contracts together.
Are
You
you,
have all 3 of them tallied up
Oh, I can add them.
or yearly?
Oh, no, not with me.
I can do it.
I think that's what I said about, it was about 7,500 annually. You look. These are the annual.
22, 11.
Well, according to these, it comes up to 12,351.
She was gonna take the remaining.
So it's 7184 annually.
She was gonna take.
They're on 16.
Yeah, she doesn't have enough money if we approve the ones that she sent me yesterday.
Oh, it's not.
So
Was that,
7184 for the year.
maybe I added that wrong.
It's 3321 for the body cams. It's 2221 for the fleet.
Oh, I probably just got
And
it.
it's 1641 for the taser. So it's just under 7,200 for the year, every year. For the
Okay.
5 years, which would be like the 36, up 36.
what you said 71, 74, 30.
7184 34. Unless I carry, did you get 7174?
I got 71, 74.
Okay, well, I went to Border, so sometimes I don't carry one.
It's not much better on the north side of the river.
But she does have enough in her budget to cover that.
What, 34? If,
Made that into, yeah, you're right, it's 71, 70.
is that right? 71?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I wrote 2221 instead of 22. But she has, even if it's 84, she hasn't really.
Okay. So are y'all okay with approving these contracts?
Which on the. Let's see, I was gonna go back to the one that she,
Take those this time.
Mhm.
So I can. Once, you just.
so the one that, the email that she sent out. August 26th, she had just the one quote from them for the 5-year plan, just the one body cam, and it was 2,085.65, which is, I think that's where the 2211.48.
Much that was.
So the one from August is 2,085.65. Make sure that's the. But I mean, she has enough in there to get it. The taser.
Oh, we got too many. I, I guess I didn't print off the ones that came from the board and I looked at the wrong email. But when she brought this to court, the court said only one. That's what we're gonna approve, only one. And she made the contract for two because she was able to evidently work some savings. But the court had originally said, we just need to get one.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's right.
And so,
But if it's within her approved budget, that doesn't matter. We gave her the money to buy whatever she needs. I
if
mean,
she
we
has the
can't tell the
money,
sheriffs to only get 2 cars if they can get 3. I mean, we can always say no, but if she has the money in there, the problem with if she made it work.
okay, do I hear a motion to approve the contracts?
I don't know if you wanted to have more discussion, but
Well, I'll let you talk. I have a motion second. We're gonna talk about it again.
okay. I make a motion to approve contract with Axon as presented.
So,
Okay, there's a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Anybody have anything else on that?
No.
Okay, all in favor? Oppose?
You're in favor?
No, I'm opposed.
Oh,
2-2. We don't have a tiebreaker here today. I just think we made a decision when she came to court and we said we only need one.
Yeah, that's what
Made
we
a-
did.
So we made a financial decision, and if she financially made it work, then that's where I differ from that, because
but I understand it, the second one's not costing very little.
Evidently, she was able to get some, a reduction in some or something is what she said in her email.
but I mean, she was also willing to be here to talk about that.
Yeah, she said she was gonna come, except she, was unable to, so, yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know, we're gonna draw the line on financial stuff. We're gonna have everybody in here that they need to start itemizing everything they buy on their budget that we say. And if we only let them buy 29 pencils, they better not get 30, even if they can, if it's on sale.
The
So
reason,
this is
yeah,
discussed though in court.
the reason it was said once, just to buy one, was to save considerable amount of money.
Exactly, it's financial.
It didn't save considerable amount of money. So I think the assumption was it would, but it didn't.
I mean, I think it's great that she's made that work. But I also am a little frustrated when we told her one and she went ahead and got the quote for two. I mean, I think it's awesome that she made it work, but
But the second one didn't cost hardly anything at all.
Hmm,
So
I still think that's beside the point. Since we discussed it.
No, that's not beside the point, because the whole decision that was made was financial. It wasn't because she didn't need a second one. It was that she didn't need a second.
Yeah,
one.
it was financial. Mhm.
So if she's gonna financially make it happen, that
Yeah.
just doesn't make sense for me to say, well, screw the safety of that. You did your job of trying to save the money and you
Mhm.
did the job. So, but because we said at court, you only get one financially, that doesn't make sense to me. I mean, we brought several things up here that y'all have been very adamant about talking about over and over again because it didn't get the decision the first time. And so, I mean, I think that's punishing our staff. If we tell them to do that financially and they go and make it work financially, and then we still say no because we said that at a previous meeting, I don't think that's wise. I mean, it'd be different if she put two and we would have to add contingency money to that line item because it ballooned it up 10,000.
Right,
I mean,
right.
That's different.
Yeah. I get that.
But when it's in the approved budget that she got and she made it work financially, I just think that,
I think the only mistake made here was the court, what one side of this is saying, it was agreed to do one, to present a proposal for one and then present proposal for two, and then the court could decide between them, which I think two would have been the logical thing to do, but we probably should have had the quote for both.
I mean, that's,
She could have proved her point that she's right, but
Yeah.
she could have proved her point that way that two's a better deal.
I don't know. I made a
We're
decision.
just going by what was presented to us last time.
Yeah, but we made a decision on financial stuff. So
Well, you can.
something happens because of the
One.
safety of the.
What was
The
the,
breakdown that she presented for budget was $2,777 per year for the body cams. And that's what was approved,
what'd you say it was?
2777. And then 2457 for the fleet cam, and then 1820 for the taser.
So what's all that add up to?
So we better tell her no on all that stuff because she saved money on the other two. She saved about $400, so.
$7,054 is what was approved. But I kind of also agree with Chris that, I mean, that is the approved budget that you gave her to operate her department as she sees fit.
So those added seven,
$7,054.
7054, that was for one?
That was for
Yes,
all
that
of it.
included-
Wow.
That quote was for one.
Yeah, that's what I said. That was for one. For one was 7,054, and what it adds up now is 7174, so $120. It would make absolutely no sense to give it.
All right, I'll change my vote.
And it was in budget workshop. I don't know that there was an actual motion for one or two.
Yeah, we
You know what
didn't
I'm
have
saying?
a,
We just had
Yes,
discussion.
discussion, just, yeah.
Okay, I will vote in favor.
The only difference would have been if she probably should have got a quote both ways, but the way it's coming out, it'd be ridiculous to buy one.
yeah. I mean, I just think, I mean, we asked them to do their due diligence with money. And when they do that, if it's in their budget, I just think that shows favor with our staff when they try to do what they can and the best for their department to kind of,
Well,
I mean, it's completely different when it's financial.
she did the common sense thing here, and that makes perfect common sense to do too.
Okay. So let's take a revote. So,
Make a motion to approve the Axon contracts as presented.
Second,
okay, we have a motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Okay, motion carries. All right, item 10 is to review the salary orders from the court administrator, bailiff, court reporter for the 84th District Court. It's just basically so y'all know what the orders were that came from the 84th Judicial District. I've got the 3/16, but I didn't get them till after I'd done the agenda, so we'll put those on for next time. So any questions on those? Item 11 is to consider and or approve the renewal of the radio management license. Jerry?
Yeah, this is the renewal or update for our radio management licenses. Radio management, so it gives me the access to get into the radios, make any changes in programming, update the firmware. And it does that all through our abilities. That'll connect to a Wi-Fi, allow them to get about 320 or so radios. I don't have to go to each individual radio. But this contract's been sent to Craig, looked it over. I said, this is just a renewal, so we can continue that service.
Okay, do I hear a motion?
Make a motion to approve the renewal of the radio management license.
Second? Okay, motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor? And item 12 is to consider and or approve submitting an application for the hazard mitigation grant.
So our hazard mitigation plan, so if y'all remember back, let's say about a year ago, we had that plan. I submitted it to the Commissioner's Court for an approval. Y'all had signed off on the plan. This was sent to the state and to FEMA to have that officially filed with the state and FEMA. What this plan does is when there's a disaster declaration that's issued, then the state will open up a pot of money for hazard mitigation projects. The only ones that are allowed to apply for this money are people that have a plan on file. Luckily, like we're right before the fire actually happened, we had this filed with the state. So it opens up a pot of money that we can look at to apply for. It's right around 1.9 million. So everybody that's on our plan, which is the Hudson County, City of Orr, Fritz, Danette, and the school districts are on their own little thing, but so we all have this opportunity to apply for something in our mitigation plan as a project. One of the things that we had looked at before was a generator for the annex. This might give us an opportunity to do that again. Us being this is a post-fire grant for obviously the wildfires we had, so we kind of get moved up to the higher priority. So especially if you can relate them to the fire director. So a generator project for any, critical infrastructure definitely would be a good one. There's two other options in our plan that, we're looking at that would fit pretty well in here, and that would be a weather alert radio project, so we can actually go out and purchase several more, or I can probably say purchase hundreds, if not several or thousands more if we wanted to. The weather alert radios, we did a project like that about 3 years ago, where we started handing a lot of those out through our LEPC and some other avenues, and we're out of them currently. We already handed all those out. We do have our new weather service transmitter that we have here in Stinnett, so it would be good, something good to offer the public. And another project that we actually have listed, and I know I've heard a couple of people talk about it, as you can actually provide covered parking for government facilities. So that's in there too. I know y'all would like that, but also you gotta remember it's for the public, so.
Yeah.
Whatever, it's all about how you articulate things, obviously.
Can't hang your name on it.
So there's those projects. I was figuring as far as the generator, it would get the highest score on me.
Haven't we,
And
put in for the generator like couple of
Yes.
times?
yeah, so the generator thing has actually been so we had the Hurricane Harvey one, that whole situation that Hurricane Harvey ended up taking a lot of our funds up here.
Right.
We were actually applying for this grant because of Hurricane Harvey, so obviously they don't give us as much.
We weren't
money
high
because of the
priority.
affecting down there.
Yeah.
This on the other hand
Hurricane.
was directly
Yes,
affected
we-
us. We're in the priority area here, so.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say it's a pretty high chance if I'm able to get everything completed. Because there is a deadline on this. It's November 1st. I have to have.
it's a quick
Right,
deadline.
and what would probably have to happen is, well, if y'all approve me to go out for the application, I can look at getting that put together, and probably next commissioner's court, I'd have to do a resolution for whatever project we decided to do. If y'all wanna go the weather radio in, well, we can actually apply for two separate ones if we wanted to, but a lot of times they'll look at funding only one of those, so we might lose out on one because we applied for the other, so some things to think about.
Also a question, because it came up in election law seminar, was potentially getting generators for each polling place in case.
Like little portable generators.
Yes, we have battery backup and things like that that typically only last for roughly 4 hours, but just due to the extreme hazards that we've had in
Because
the
we
state of
just-
Texas over the
We
last
just
year.
shut the polling place down in Fritz.
And that was different. Yeah, we had
Yeah.
to evacuate,
Right.
but just due to the different types of natural disaster through the state, it was suggested, but.
So I'm not saying we couldn't. I know generators, there's several different types of generator projects. City of Fritz they've been approved for a mitigation plan for portable generators because of their water situation.
Mhm.
So hopefully that will help them out in that. I can look at it and we can see what we can possibly.
Just something to think about. Yeah, no.
I would definitely be in favor of, well, getting the application out there, but I think the generator at the annex would be something that we probably need to continue to work towards.
And then you can vote at the annex.
Most expensive one anyway.
Yeah, it is.
In an emergency.
Yeah.
It'd be the biggest burden release from the public. We can always use public funds for radios and buy you guys bubbles.
Wonderful.
Cards.
Right.
One of those things fly to the navigator a
The
little.
new generator for the courthouse still on schedule for November, December.
Good.
I believe,
Okay.
the last time I talked to them.
But today I just really need the court to say, hey, we want you to go out for the grant, and then I'll put everything together, and then by next court, I'll have a resolution.
Okay, so do hear a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the application for the hazard mitigation grant.
Okay, we have motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Okay, thanks, Jerry. Okay, item 13 is to consider and or approving the ARP grant projects. I don't have any applications at this time. If y'all had a chance to look at the, just the financials on the ARP, Alicia sent those out. Did I attach them to anything? Yeah,
Do what?
The packet.
did I attach it to the packet? Okay, all right, good. So you all had a chance to review that.
And I would like for, you know, in previous years, we've kind of split up, you know, budget wise,
Mhm.
this is gonna be used for facilities, this is gonna be for security. Maybe kind of think about something that we can do for fiscal year 2025 to put kind of a basic budget on the books.
Okay,
Just, or I can do what I've done before and do it by a percentage of, you know, the remaining funds and just put a percentage for facilities, for technology, for.
are y'all
Or if y'all
okay?
have an idea of what you would like to spend the remaining funds on, we are coming down to the
I think it's
wire.
whatever gonna be the more logical.
I know the big chunk, I mean, it's gonna be
Do what?
one of the big chunks will be are you taking the blinds out of it or are you gonna do that out
The
of?
blinds come out of that, but
I'm gonna-
also we're going out for bids for the paving also, for all the parking lots and seal coating. And then, for the next couple of months, plan on doing something for air conditioning and heat over there at the annex. And so what else was it?
The only thing I've got is probably below 20,000 or below for the painting of the library. I've got everything else in the budget for the cracks and that, but that's all I've got on my end.
We're not doing just the parking lot at the annex, we're doing reseal coating all the way around the courthouse. And then there will have to be an interlocal agreement with the cities to that, because some of that's on city right away. But, also what I ran into this week was we're gonna have to update the electrical on the back of that building over there, because Excel will not move that line until we update the rest of it. I met with the engineers last week and they will not allow us to get that off the roof until we update the back.
Give them enough time, they'll just show up and put a smart meter on there without,
All right.
Do what?
give them enough time, they'll just show up and put a smart meter without telling you on there. Yeah, that'll be expensive moving.
So there's still quite a bit to be spent there.
I think, what'd be best for you? The last three to earmark that stuff.
I can put it all in facility repairs and maintenance, and then if something comes up, we can do a lot of that, I'll transfer to somewhere else.
I think at this point, that'll probably.
I think that's about where it sounds like most of it's gonna go, so
Be the majority of it. And
Okay.
there may be some extra, but
let's do that
I
for
think,
now.
I think everybody needs to get their ideas together though, because
Yeah, we've got to earmark it by the end of the year.
Mhm.
if, you know, we get a couple months later, maybe we haven't used quite all of it or something, need to have ideas.
We only have 6 meetings to earmark it.
And remember, to earmark it is not just saying in court what we're gonna.
Right, it has to have a
We to
PO.
signed contract, a PO that has been
Yeah.
issued for
Mhm.
stuff that has been ordered. Something of those natures.
Okay, so are y'all good with having Alicia just put it in facility upgrades and repairs, and then we'll.
Mhm.
And you got some advantage, right?
Yeah, I've got about 72,000 at least.
Yeah.
Maybe more.
All right. Item 14, consider and or approve any action necessary from our February, March wildfires. Have we ever heard anything about the concrete?
So I talked to TCQ about 2 weeks ago
Mhm.
and they're still kind of in limbo with what the person they had talked to was still, on another project, so they haven't been able to really lock them down.
Uh-huh.
There is some newer information. I don't know exactly what all that can do. It's not really, I don't know. Actually, Commissioner Kirksey had, got some information. There's an agency or entity that has a substantial amount of money that wants to contribute to possibly this project here.
Mhm.
And
That would be
the
great.
way it's sounding, it would be more than enough to handle that. I don't know. He said he was working on that end of it, so I'm kind of waiting for him to finalize a little bit of that. And if that's the case, then might be able to bring that back next commissioner's court.
Okay, good. Thank you. All right, item 15 is consider and or approve the burn ban or rescind the burn ban.
So we actually got a little bit of rain, which is kind of exciting. So Stinnett is our weather stations that we have. Stinnett got 2.31, Bridge 1.53, and Boreal 1.73.
Even though there was 3 inches in my rain gauge.
You're close to that.
These are our weather stations, obviously.
It was in a dry spot.
Yeah.
Cleared up quick.
Yeah, it did.
Our drought index did decrease 131 points, which is really, really good, but it's still at 424. It's still quite high for what it is. And then our extended forecast looks like above, as far as the temperatures will still be right about normal or above, and then below precipitation chances. So I'm going to say that we just no action at this time would be the recommendation.
Okay, thank you. All right, item 16, consider and or approve request for use of the club rooms at the Border Library or Fridge.
So, yeah, I was trying to pull it up. So I didn't approve it until this morning because I missed the email. There's a birthday, I think November 23rd, but I don't think I approved.
Okay.
But I did just then, Nancy, so don't cuss at me. So I'll make a motion to approve that.
I hear a second. Okay, motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Item 17, consider and or approve line item changes, transfers, or budget amendments.
We just had several line item transfers for various departments, swinging money around to cover end of the year expenses.
I hear a motion.
Move to approve line item changes, transfers, and budget amendments.
Second.
Okay, we have motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor? All right, item 18, consider and or approve advertising, opening, accepting, or awarding bids. We have a couple that we need to look at. The first one is we got the bids in on the window coverings for the courthouse. We've got a couple of options to either go with solar screen shades or like what's up now, the fake wooden blinds. So, Ben, do you have anything to add?
I know, well, you were looking into what color and
Yes,
which ones, all that stuff, but on the, what was bid from commercial blinds? They 2-1, the lowest bid is actually the shades. 59,950. And that is a solid shade, raises up and down, and
it's like what they have at the Dome, if y'all are, what they have in the big windows in the ballroom at the Dome are the shades.
there's one thing about the bid that what he bid was the 3% light coming through. At the 59,950, if you want to go like 1%, which doesn't let much light through at all, it will raise it $1,985 over the bid. So there'd have to be that change to the bid if you decide to go with 1%, because he bid 3%. But he also told me that he said about 75% of the schools and the people he deals with use the 3%. And it does let a little bit of light through. And I think that's what the sample is you have in your office
Is the three?
3%.
Yeah, I don't know. We need to clarify that.
But so most people use 3%. If you want it a little darker, you can go.
I like the shades. I think they would add a clean look to the courthouse,
And whatever color you pick is same for us.
which is gonna be universal throughout the courthouse.
Whatever.
One color.
Whatever you decide on that, the price is the only change of price would be
This,
how much
the
light.
density. Okay.
So it could change just a tiny bit.
So you just have a sample. I mean, they didn't send you a blind to put in the window to see.
It's actual blind, but it's only about this big.
It's just a sample.
Yeah, so
So with the windows
There-
being that big, that makes me kind of hesitant to do the blinds. I mean, the shades.
well, they would have to do, they said they would have to do two shades, right? I mean, two blinds, like if they did the
Well,
blinds. Was it
These
weird?
kind of
Oh,
blinds,
one.
they're not building them tall enough. You'd have to have a short section at the top and then part you raise and lower at the
I don't know
bottom.
how they would attach that.
And
These are all one.
the main thing about these is they're more visible outside. They really show a lot outside. So you would have that separator between the two blinds in them.
Seems weird. But I'm all for this. I'm all for the shades.
Either one of these would work pretty good.
I think we're just gonna have a plan to go to LED pretty quick if we get the shades, because it's gonna show how much natural light illuminates versus the fluorescent.
Say that again?
Okay.
If we put shades in, I mean, there's a lot of natural light that comes in here, so I think if we get those shades installed, there's gonna be a lot of departments ready to go to LED lights instead of fluorescent.
We're already in LED light.
All of them are
Well,
department?
we have all the bulbs. They're not all in yet,
Okay,
but we have all the bulbs to change to LED. Most of them are in. I'm not sure if these have been changed yet or not,
and it doesn't look like it.
Mm-mm.
but, yeah, we ordered all the bulbs to change
Okay.
the entire courthouse
Okay, so if all, yeah, all are covered, I'm good.
or to finish changing them. But like the natural light, these will let some through. They're 3%. But if you want them really dark and not much, it'd be 1%. Which,
And I think one of the questions, if we decide to go with the shades, one of the things that we were gonna ask the guy to is, could we, if an office wanted the 1%, get 1% for that office and 3% for a different office? I don't know if that's an option or not.
he did tell me that if he gets the bid on this, he will come up and you decide colors.
Then we
Get
can
way more
decide all of those little
all that
details.
stuff. But,
Can we do
that
that?
particular question I did not ask, if you can mix and match.
I mean, we took bids of fit, like sealed bids, so I don't,
We did a request for proposal
Just the-
and not an actual
Okay.
bid. So it allows for vendors to come in and offer a solution to our problem.
but then when we go out for bids, we'll have to do,
We won't go back. Oh, you don't have to go out for bid after you just.
it's over 50,000 though.
No, it's.
But
it's-
that's
it's
all
bidding-
part of this
it's bidding-
process.
It's a sealed bid for a proposal, which is fine.
So you can change the price later.
No, not change the
Well, that's what I'm
price.
saying, yeah.
Like if we accept this bid, it will be a work order change for the difference in 3% to 1%.
And we can do that.
We'd still, if we accepted that bid, it would be the bid price. Then we could do a work order change because we're changing it.
First,
Yeah.
the denser blinds or
But,
whatever.
but it's still-
But it doesn't matter, like we can, it doesn't matter what color we pick or whatever, which we're gonna pick that, so.
So if we did a work order change, it's a, now to mix and match, whether you do part 3% or 1%, I did not price that, so that may be a little different.
Hey, do I hear a motion?
Courthouse, man. It's your courthouse.
Yeah.
We're stuck with these for a long time, so make sure,
I like the blinds.
I like the blinds too,
I mean, the shades. I like the shades.
these fox.
I'm sorry, I said the wrong.
Yeah, they did a good job also, so. It seems like the new way of doing it that most buildings are putting in are the shades.
I think they've put them in, didn't we say that, well, I know they're in at the Dome. And then they've got them at Border PD, I think.
He told me that this company did Border PD.
And are they putting them in at Stinnett at the school?
Well, they put some up there. I don't know, sure who put them in. I don't know, but they did, they did the Border High School. I think.
They did Border High School.
Border High School.
Oh, okay.
The same company did
Mhm.
that and Border PD, and I don't know what else.
They're not gonna get remotes so that they can just sit there and like it's a dome where it goes up under the.
Yeah, sure we are.
No toys.
Okay, do I hear a motion?
Um, I would, move to accept the bid from Commercial Blinds Solar Screen Shades for $59,950.
I hear a second.
No second.
Okay, we have a motion and second to go with the bid from Commercial Blinds for the solar screen shades for $59,950. Any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Okay. Thank you, Ben, for working on that. All right, the next one bid is for some work at the annex. Gary, do you have anything on that?
Yeah, we've got several bids. Some of them just include the walls, not the floors. We're getting carpet in
We
the,
asked for an all-inclusive bid.
well, some of them don't do all of it.
That's just like
Yeah, no, we really didn't.
to figure out who's got the best.
Yeah, and I've looked through all of them. You know, the Fernando Celaya,
He's already done some work at the annex, right?
yeah, he did the election room and some other
Right.
that's in there, but this would be a big project for him by
Right.
himself. So that was one drawback on his, plus he's pretty expensive compared to the other ones, except for width. They were a little bit higher. But A&C flooring, just the flooring alone was 65,000. And then the other part was 42,000. See, so
That's double what
Yeah.
Fernando bid.
but Anthony's, for the whole thing, for the walls, for the flooring, everything was 72,926. And the others, like A&C flooring, the whole thing was 107,719.
Mhm.
So it looks like Anthony's got the lowest bid as far as,
For the
Everything.
complete.
yeah, everything.
Okay.
But if you add. I just want to make sure I understand, like Fernando's and Witt's would be like 20,000 cheaper.
Well, that's just the walls only on Fernando's.
Yeah,
That's
that's
not flooring.
no
Yeah, but
flooring.
Witt's-
Oh, you got,
But
Wilt's broke down into 3 sections though.
So that's what I was gonna say,
They
is that
have 3 bids depending on certain floors.
Oh, depending on,
if you go
so
with
it'd be,
the most expensive flooring they have is 32,362, and if you combine them, that's 54,000 compared to 72 from Anthony.
Yeah,
What's-
but they're not, that's only flooring though.
well, you could add that with Fernando's and then you've got 53,000. Well, 54.
That's not, the Wilt's is not 3 different places in the annex.
That's why I don't,
No, it's 3 different styles of flooring,
3 different varieties.
grades
You
maybe.
can pick one of the 3. You don't need to pick all 3.
Right.
It's not 3 different options.
and the most expensive one looks like it's still 20 something thousand.
Well, one of them is 32, the others are 28 and 27.
Right. So the most expensive flooring is 32. And then the texture and paint, if Fernando did it, would be 21. Is Fernando still a one-man crew?
Yeah. That's the only problem.
Right?
You know, it might take forever. Then I'm not so sure what he could do. Some of that old tile, that old stool tile, some of it's missing. That's all gonna have to be leveled out. And some of the other tiles taken off, so.
I had a question on Fernando's too. On his bid, he says texture and paint 19,000. Then it says materials supplies not included must be provided by the county. But then they have amounts written in there to total 21,700. So it's like they're telling us we have to buy it, but they're also bidding for that. So
He didn't want to put the money up front.
Well, yeah, I think what he's
that should have
doing,
been taken out and they decided to.
no,
Give
I
us
think,
some estimates.
I think what he's saying is he needs that up front to get the supplies. That's the job. Like he's saying, he'll need a check for $2,200 first to get that stuff, and then 19,500 to do everything.
Yeah, and we've had to do that before with other contractors.
Because that didn't change his thing, the bid tag. I don't know. I can't speak for him, but I think it's.
What kind of flooring? Gary?
The only ones,
Even those the tiles, the laminate, like,
well,
the
it's at
like we've got in our office.
flooring like they've got in the election room.
Yeah, the upgraded laminate.
Yeah, it's premier flooring,
Yeah,
like we did in the
Vinyl.
donation.
Yeah.
So that's what kind of flooring I didn't ask, but for premier flooring on all of them. They gave me 3 bids down here for width, but you'd have to have somebody else do the walls. If you chose width, they don't do the walls, the texturing on the walls. And what we,
I'm kind of like I've already said, if you had Wit and Fernando together, it's a lot cheaper than them. Unless, I first thought when I saw that was 3 different.
Three bids.
houses they were bidding
Right.
or something, but apparently not.
It's just 3 different grades of flooring.
well,
this is just my opinion, but I think if we went with Anthony's, I think you get a quality job and you get it done quickly
that's,
because they've got quite the crew.
yeah, it'd be done quicker. It might take,
It might
forever.
not forever.
And then,
And I think Fernando does an excellent job.
oh, he does, but he's never had a project this big. But the thing is, you're not gonna be able to do the flooring until you get those walls textured. You don't want
Right.
burning flooring out
That's gonna
there
have to be first.
texture all over it.
Mhm.
Doesn't make it drag out because you're waiting on the wall,
It would be
Yeah.
forever.
Yeah, so
but that's,
How long when you asked him how long it's gonna take, what did he say?
no, I didn't ask him how long it took. I know how long it took. He was pretty decent on the election room,
Mhm. But that's one little
but the
room.
flooring had to wait on him. Yeah.
That's one little room.
small. Yeah, compared to this project, it's really
I
small.
don't know which flooring you're using here, but even if you assume the 32,000, that's on 54,000 roughly compared to 72.
And that annex has waited a long time for texturing the walls, so I think it's a $18,000 difference. It's extravagant. $19,000.
Which floor were?
Is this just the,
Sure.
is this the whole annex or, cause in the, on Anthony's, it says texture and paint the walls in the juvenile hallways.
Yeah, it's juvenile hall.
Just juvenile?
It's juvenile, and then it goes all the way down to the north and then back down in front of the tag office.
Oh.
It's all the hallway.
Texture and paint the walls in the juvenile hallways. The bottom tile, base paint, but no texture.
Yeah,
But it doesn't say
But not
anything about the rest of the annex. It just says juvenile.
no, it's all of it. It's all of it. I took him over there and showed him.
This is hallways. Oh, this is floor hallways, tag office hallways, juvenile probation.
Yeah, see, it's all of them and flooring too.
And it includes the floor prep.
Yeah, because, that's
So
another
I
thing.
read on one of those that it did not include floor prep.
I don't think Whit can't come up. I offered to take him around. He said, well, I've seen it before, but in the juvenile hall, the floor tapers to the north.
So it says here,
To level that out.
the width floor bids don't include any major prep that might need to be done.
Yeah, I think they do.
Replace only the existing cove base. This is widths.
Yeah, Whit's man,
Tear out,
because he didn't come over. and-
not included,
Well, there's Anthony's. 'Cause-
Wait a minute, he didn't look at this?
bid is only.
No, he called me on the phone and I said, well, anytime you want to come over and look at it. And then I had another guy from Pampa call me and I said, I'll meet you over here tomorrow, be the best day. And then he never did call.
The
me.
Whit bid this. I done seen.
Mhm.
No,
So,
we don't know that. He just didn't call him to show up. I mean, he could have went up there.
Maybe.
He could have,
well,
anytime it's a public building, so.
he didn't go into the juvenile hall. He could have walked in the other part and looked, except for the computer room, I mean, the copy machine room.
Does not include any major prep that might be need to subfloor and replace existing cover base.
And there's gonna be some prep too. Even in the other part, there's cracks, it's separated. That's all gonna have to be leveled out, so.
Anthony's doesn't say it includes that either,
Anthony's doesn't say that? Well, it's,
because all they're doing is gluing over the existing tile.
yeah, but
Oh,
that
there it
is,
is.
but Chris, that includes that. I walked around with him and we talked about it. He was the one that told me, he said, we're gonna have to take those tiles off, level it out
Include.
before we start laying a new one.
Mhm. Yeah, it says includes floor prep.
Which floor are we looking at for Whit?
Well, if his premier is 32,000, that's what Anthony's is putting their best floor on,
So
premier.
you'd want to compare the 32.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think this Fernando can do this job?
I think he can do it. I just think it's gonna take a long time.
Well, did he give you any idea what his schedule looks like?
And I don't know what he can do with the other part, piles that are gone and some of them need to be knocked off. Those, the way that's done over there, it's funny. It's not all the same.
But this quote doesn't include any of the texture, like Ben said earlier. Anthony's doesn't say anything about texture, replacing color, anything. It's just the wall. Like they're
It
painting the
says
tile.
texture and paint the walls,
They're painting the tile, but no texture. So they're not,
bottom tile base paint.
they're not gonna replace
So,
it.
that was,
The bottom, the reason we decided not to do anything with that, if you're polishing that floor or anything and you go over there and hit that with the machine, you're gonna screw it up.
Yeah,
If it's painted, it's real easy to remedy.
if I understand this right, Anthony's is texture and paint the wall.
It's everything.
The width, or not width, but, Fernando's not texturing, is that right?
He's just doing the texturing. And then wit,
texture and paint.
yeah,
That's all he's doing.
and then wit's not doing any texturing or painting.
They're only doing floors.
So if you combine the two, it's the same job,
Mhm.
basically.
Okay. You know, you get Witt's floor and then have Anthony textured, or you could have,
Anthony didn't bid the texture.
I did.
Well, yeah, I guess,
Down.
all together.
well, yeah, he didn't do this. I guess you could split this up, or is that for the whole job? On Anthony's.
There's
Well,
it's detailed out, Ben.
I know, but I mean, he bid 72,926, so.
Well, you see that? It's got them all broken out. It's got how much for the vinyl, how much for the carpet.
yeah, texture
For
and
the
paint,
texture.
33.
Yeah, I
The
see
vinyl.
that, but he may have bid those to assume to do the whole job too. That's the way I would take it.
Oh.
Like,
I got
he's
you.
doing it for that if you do all of it.
Price will change on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you.
Okay. I don't think Witt included the carpet either, did he?
Yes. Carpet tiles.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, he did.
Is this ARP?
Yeah.
It's on ARP.
Yep. Yeah, the tag office is doing their own thing, which they're just about complete with. All they like are countertops now.
Yeah, we approved that.
Yeah,
I kind of have to agree with the judge that Anthony's would be a good work.
well, I think it's gonna get done quicker. Since they're doing it all. You get texture part of it, floor part of it, you know, and just like in front of the tag office. Sure,
Okay.
we'll have to do that on a Friday, probably, Friday or Saturday. Just so we don't stop any traffic.
That's kind of the way it has to work up here. We do a lot of Fridays and stuff because it doesn't interfere with people.
Yeah, yeah. That's what we have to do there.
Okay, do we have a motion?
That's it's your job.
I'll make a motion that we accept Anthony's bid for 72,000.
926.
Yeah, 72,926 for the whole job.
Okay, do I hear a second?
That's 18,863.
Well, I'll second it. Oh, wait, you want to? All right, so any further discussion?
Yes, there's $18,863 difference in it. And I agree with you 100%, but it's, I can't go that much difference.
I can't either,
Well, I think,
especially when we don't have a timeline. I mean, we can assume that he's gonna take forever. We don't know. I mean, I'm not gonna speak on behalf.
I mean, it's just a little bit, I would say, that's a lot.
well, and I can tell you, Whit didn't come over here and look at it, so he doesn't know what he's gonna have to do those tiles, the old ones. And that in the juvenile is really bad.
Just,
With,
Another option that you could do is refuse all of them and go out for a bid. Where you actually specify, instead of doing a proposal, you can do a bid that states. You're gonna need to prepare the subfloor, you're gonna have to
tear out,
tear out this, list out more specific specifications that they do have to meet. And then it's required that they have to submit the whole thing or they're disqualified. So it wouldn't be.
You mean do all of it, the texturing and the flooring? Is that what you're saying?
Or you could do it as
Or
two
you can
different
separate
projects
it.
and do a flooring. This is what the flooring, do it as a flooring, and then this is gonna be the paint and texture, do it as two specific projects.
so it'd be two different bids.
Well, I tried to do that. And you-
Well, I mean, it's one project, but because you don't have a contractor that's doing everything. You can do a bid project for just the flooring and a bid project for just the paint.
Was that making under 50,000 though?
It'll be under 50,000, but because it's one.
That's what I
project-
wanted to do originally.
Because it's one project, it's over 50,000, so it's still,
It's really
Bidding per-
considered one.
you're just
Project.
taking the big project and bidding out two pieces of it.
here's where I have a question mark on this. This is one project. But, and I love proposals. I love to get proposals and stuff as well, but the proposal is for one job to do the walls and the flooring,
The whole thing.
the whole thing. Now, that's not the way this is. The cheaper bid is not the way that's done. The proposal should be on the entire job. Not broken out into two contracts.
Well, then it eliminated.
So, but I don't.
The best
think that's-
thing would be then
I
to,
don't think that's clear, so maybe you should just redo that and.
go out for bids.
Because I think with that much difference in there, that's a little hard for me to take. But sometimes I want to, but I can't.
I know ARP is free money, but I think we still need to do our due diligence. Regardless of. I mean, it's,
In all the projects I've done up there, there's been one or two that we were really close, but we sold the fact that it was quality or something, but
like you said, if it was under 5,000, I could get behind.
I would.
One way for-
Be fine with that.
But that's almost, I mean,
I
that's
think
$25.
$18,000 from that people for maybe that might have to be justified.
Well, if you do this again, then you're gonna eliminate all of them except for two. If they have to do the whole project.
well, that's why you can do two different ones. Or you might get other ones that are general
Well,
contractors.
I don't know what you're gonna change. You got one that's gonna do all of it for 107,000. The other one for
Did
72,000.
you reach out to any vendors that are outside border?
Yeah, I had some one from Panther that called me, but they never did. They were supposed to meet with me and they never did. No, I
I
didn't
can
reach
find
out
some
any further.
vendors.
I like to use the local vendors.
Mhm.
Okay. When you posted it, I haven't seen the ad, but when you posted
And was
this,
included in,
did you make your proposal for one job and its proposal?
It was this. What it said.
So with that, who these Whit and Fernando has to be thrown out because it was, the proposal is how to do the flooring and the textured paint.
That's exactly what I'm saying. That only leaves two vendors.
So really, those shouldn't be here. The other one shouldn't be here. But
I hate to use your proposal against you, but then we would throw out the solar blinds because yours included 2-inch blinds.
You're right.
no, it was a proposal though.
I know, so is that.
Yeah.
This is a proposal.
And it said has to be 2-inch blinds. And so if we do that, then we'd have to throw out the solar shades.
Of course, that's why we do a proposal. I have no problem with wanting to do a different kind of flooring or wanting to do something different. I don't have a problem with that. The problem is don't separate the job. And just don't piecemeal the job. Now, the proposal is to make suggestions for anything else that will work. That's why we call it proposal.
Proposal asks for texture, paint, carpet, and other flooring.
It does do the whole entire thing. The only problem is, I wish we hadn't had all this discussion with. I still think you should go out for full bid again. That's like I understand what you're saying, but like if you propose carpet, somebody says, well, we have this great panel, it'll work great, it's better, blah, 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 and they sell you on it, then okay, maybe we should go buy us the carpet. And so that's okay, but I'm not okay with separating the job in half.
Okay, so if we decide to go out for bids and we get that posted by this Thursday or Friday, then we have to post it for 2 weeks, is that right?
We got it in the paper for this,
Friday,
the earliest we could open it would be the 14th of October, which that's Commissioner's Court.
14th, we could open it that day. We could open it that day and make a decision. Right? Are you okay with that, Gary?
Yeah, we'll be doing the same thing that we've already done. I think it's a waste of time, but
No, I agree with you. It's just,
I mean, it costs us more money than the paper, but
well,
19,000.
these two did not meet the criteria for start. They shouldn't even be here looking at.
yeah, that's
That-
correct. I agree with you there.
That's, we've been sitting here discussing this back and forth, and actually, two of them doesn't even meet the big specs.
Mhm.
And they shouldn't be in the discussion. So really and truly, there's only one discussion should have been had.
Yeah, well, you still come up with the same results if you put it in there again, unless you just really reach out to somebody else, but I doubt they're gonna be any cheaper than the local people.
Yeah, I agree, but that bid that we've been discussing shouldn't even been discussed. But that's my point.
Well, yeah. According to what we asked for.
Okay,
I
so
included all of them to let y'all make the disqualification judgments instead of me making that judgment, because I don't always know
Yeah.
what they're talking about on their bids.
all right, what do y'all want to do? We have a motion and a second on the floor.
I don't think it's gonna change any. I think we'll just be spinning our wheels and costing us a little bit more money. That's my idea.
Okay, we had a motion to go with Anthony's. I second it. Is there any more discussion on that? Are y'all ready to take a vote?
Can I just, are y'all going to disqualify the ones who didn't bid both?
No,
I don't really think we,
because unless we change the wording on it,
right?
we're gonna have to disqualify the solar shade thing too.
I agree with Chris.
And we were gonna have to change the wording on the request for proposal and say self-proposed.
That or,
Please provide a proposal including everything listed below, but not limited to.
It was, that's my only catch with this is you allowed the job to be broken down in half instead of bidding on the whole entire job. Which was the painting and the flooring. Which if you bid the entire job, they would have been.
there's only two people that did that.
They would have been thrown out. Which would have made your motion legit because there would be nobody else that, well, that, the low bid wouldn't be there.
Well, the reason it even got started like that is we went to people that we knew that did that kind of work and did a good job. They've done work for us before. But they
Now, as
can't
far
do
as,
the flooring though.
That's why the word proposal was used, so you can't alter how your job was worded, but if someone proposes something that's better, that's fine. I prefer proposals because you may get better ideas sometimes.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion on that? All in favor? Oppose? Okay. All right, so we're gonna have to figure out what we're gonna do because we're at a spot. So then I'm guessing the best
I'm agreeing
solution.
with you, Gary. I just got a little.
I'm guessing that in order to move on here, I'm guessing the best thing is to go back out for bids.
Technically.
Go out for bids the first time.
Yeah, yeah, get the specs
Proposal's fine.
and
But
go out for bid.
requiring the whole job done by one contractor, then do that.
So in the next ad, is there any word change that you would like this to say?
Inclusive,
Do you
It's
want
all
to do a
fine.
request for bid or a request for proposal?
To me, proposal is fine.
So I feel like if it's proposal, then it shouldn't list any kind of, it's just updating the hallways with new flooring and paint. Or, something very generic like that.
This is why you see a lot of times when bids come up, a contractor, you do have one contractor, but they may sub out the painting or the flooring. And that's in-house with them, but one contractor's responsible. And,
Or we can
say like if we were doing,
make it a little more specific. Like,
if we were doing something required electrical may not be included in the bid, it's done separately or something.
Please provide a proposal that includes all flooring, texture, and carpeting.
No,
paint.
and you're gonna accept bids that include that. Perfect.
How is that gonna be different from what it says now? Please provide a proposal including but not limited to.
That's what,
Including, like, all of that's included.
Discussing ones that didn't include it.
Throw those out.
We've got to change the wording on that because, yeah, I mean, both of the proposals we got, there were things that weren't inclusive of what it listed. So we either have
So
to,
see, on the blind one, it's fine because that company did include a blind proposal, but they also, because it says, but not limited to.
So they included two options.
Yeah, they just gave us another option.
But they did.
They did do they did do the blind, the one that was the 2-inch blinds, but they also gave us another option.
it's actually material option.
So this says, please provide a proposal including, but not limited to.
including.
So that means
All of it.
includes all of this. I would think.
Which one are you referring to?
The carpet, I mean, the floors and the texture, because it says including but not limited to. So it has to include all of this,
So, yes.
not just one portion of that. It has to include all of it. That's the way I
The
read
ones
that.
Didn't, I'm just.
So really,
ones that-
So if you didn't include a proposal that included all of that,
you need to throw them out.
then you need to get rid of them.
If we agree to throw that one out, that's not inclusive, then,
Well, there's two that's not all inclusive.
Mhm.
well, they
There are only
together
two
there's
that
one,
are.
but
There's only two bids that are all inclusive.
correct. My issue is we should have made that decision right up front that this does not.
Well, it took us an hour and a half to decide that.
This is not, this does not meet specs. It should have been thrown out. I got nothing else planned today. It's all right.
Right. Yeah, we have nothing better to do.
Well, I've got to go to Dallas.
Oh, you gonna be late.
I've got it, yeah. Crap.
Okay. How about this? How about how about we just
Do you even know where you're at?
say,
Oh. Yeah, I do.
if we made a motion to throw those other two out because they do not meet specs.
I
So,
don't think we need a motion for that.
but just,
Disgusting.
well, we need to explain why we're paying $18,000 more.
Because the two bid proposals that met what we asked for, we're still taking the lower one. They didn't propose what we asked them to propose. Included all of that. I think, I just think if we go out for bids or whatever we're gonna decide to do, we're gonna end up with the same result.
Mhm.
I agree with that.
So
Just waste some time and wasting money.
might as well just make a decision. Because we've got two people that have met the proposed information. Included everything that we asked for. So we've got two people to decide between, or two bids or proposals to decide from. That have included everything that we asked them to include.
Yeah, the way that reads is they can propose more, but not less. You know, so it says not. You know, but not limited to, so.
They
You can
can,
bid more than what this is, but you can't really bid less than what that is.
Yeah, but the wording to me, I mean, it doesn't say, it says including, but it doesn't say including all, so I'm not gonna change mine because
Say what now?
it says including, but it doesn't say including everything below. It says including, so I mean, to me,
Same
it
thing.
doesn't always mean that you can, if you say choose from this list, including this, don't limit,
This is it.
doesn't mean it has to be all of them.
Here. I've got mine here.
okay, this is where our decision, we need to either decide to go back out and change our wording on the proposal. Go out for bids, actual bids, or accept what we've got and just throw out the ones that didn't comply with what we asked for.
There's already been a motion and a second, don't you? And so you've already taken a vote.
We did, and it was split.
But we can go back and revote this. Or reevaluate this.
Do I hear another motion?
This is, the way this is worded. There was only 2 bids to look at. If you want more bids, we go back out, but there's only, from this proposal, there's only 2 to even look at.
So is there another motion?
I agree with what you said, that we don't have to have a motion to throw the ones out that didn't meet specs, so.
We're gonna have to have a revote to change anything.
Well, we gotta have a
There's
motion
to
first.
say-
Motion to have a revote?
Well, motion for whatever you want to happen.
What if it's the same? For Anthony's? I feel like that's where they're going, but maybe I'm wrong.
Can you have another motion that says the same thing? I don't know.
Well, I don't know. I've never run into that yet.
Or a revote. On that motion. Look into it
I
too.
don't know
Mhm.
all those technical things.
Since we voted on that, I mean, actually, I don't know if you can.
Right, I don't know
Need
that
it.
either. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know the etiquette for that.
I don't know. I don't know if you can do that.
Okay, well then, what we need to decide is, do we want to go out for bids or proposal?
Proposal is fine, because somebody may come up with better ideas. Sometimes I love proposals, but it needs to include everything or allow it to be broke up, one of the two, because this does not allow it to be broke up.
Okay, so then we need
I-
to
there's-
just change our wording a little bit.
So you just want it to not be broken up.
Huh?
I mean, you just don't want it to be broken up, because I'm
So-
fine with it being broken up if we did 2.
I'm fine with it being broken up, but you got to say it's okay in here.
So
I said here, it doesn't say that.
But if you do 2 different proposals, then the same group can do one combine, I mean, they can submit one for each one. And we could still save $19,000 possibly.
Well, it says, please provide a proposal including but not limited to. Okay, I'm all good with that.
And then put.
But that's a proposal for those. If you want to do 2 different jobs, do 2 different jobs.
That's what I'm saying. Then you do one proposal for the flooring and one proposal for the texture.
Then that would be
We
okay.
can do
This
it
is not
on the
legit.
same-
And then companies can do both.
I can do it on the same proposal, on the same ad, and just put that, that the proposal must include updating flooring and then do a separate, for paint. And so then if they bid it together, then that's one thing. If they bid it separately, then that's fine.
The way this is written, I'm just not okay with this because you're actually awarding this to 2 different contractors. It's doing half the job each. That's not okay. So,
Well, let's go with what Lisa said.
if you either do the texture and flooring in one job and the flooring, or the texture and paint in one job and the flooring in another job, that's fine.
Okay,
Can do the ad and then we can wait until the next commissioner's court now can approve the ad.
no,
Before I put it in the paper.
no, I'm good with what you said. They can either bid, right? Separately or inclusively? Is that what you said?
You gotta word it right or
Some
something.
sort of, yeah. I'll put some-
Well.
We gotta be more careful with this.
I'm a numbers person, not a words person.
Just remember, you're gonna have two different contractors.
Proposal for individual
I know,
jobs and then a
yeah.
proposal for all of them. All of
Different
them.
That's another problem.
I agree.
You can't do the flooring.
Okay, so what do y'all want it to say? Please provide a proposal. What do you all want it to say? And everybody's quiet.
How did you word that one though?
We can put,
Yeah, I have faith in you to do it how we need to.
You do good wording the proposals. I like what you do, but this, we just haven't run into this before, quite like this, that I know of. That's,
Please provide a proposal including, but not limited to these things. And then can you put something underneath that proposals?
where you do one
Can-
just specific for flooring and then one is just specific for paint.
Okay, so please provide a proposal including but not limited to texture and paint the annex hallways. Period. And please provide a proposal including but not limited to updating the flooring.
so we'll make a point. That is two different things, so you're not breaking it up to get it under 50,000.
Okay,
It's two totally different jobs,
right, but all inclusive, sort of.
all inclusive of,
And then do you have to put a proposal can include all of the above? So if you have a company that wants to provide you a proposal for everything, they can.
it should have been one proposal for the flooring and one proposal for,
So we're just gonna accept two separate
Well, then you could
proposals.
Have a general contractor walk in and be like, well, I'm gonna do the whole job.
Then they
That's
just,
fine.
they'll break it down.
just add them together. That's fine.
So nothing, all of it.
I don't know.
Oh,
Well, we still got all that information too.
And this is good information because it's just something to work on in the future.
Well,
Okay, did we make a decision?
Yeah,
I think
Yes.
so.
Go out for proposal.
So now the motion
Letting
is
that
to-
add into-
We don't have a motion.
okay.
We're just going out for proposal. Do we have to have motion for that? Maybe?
I think there
We need-
needs to be a motion to deny or to refuse. all-
Well, that one didn't.
We have in the past, we go out, we make a motion to go out for,
Right.
Okay, somebody needs to make a motion.
I make a motion to go out for sealed bids or proposal for updating the flooring in the annex. And also a sealed bid proposal to go out for texture and paint in the annex. Always.
well, it should be three things: carpeting, flooring,
Flooring.
and texture.
Is that carpeting, flooring?
Flooring, same thing.
Yeah,
So we're
Well,
going out for flooring and we're going out for.
but then in the proposal, they can say, well, we're gonna put
And then they can
carpet in
vote.
this area and tile in this area, or.
Yeah.
You know, if
Yeah.
you leave it generic and you're not specifying one or the other, then it's allowing the vendor to propose what they would do.
Maybe we can cover the tile with solar shades. If we have a lot of extras, maybe we can cover the tile with solar shades.
Okay, so we have a motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Okay. Motion carries. Hopefully we can get that in the paper by Friday. Right? Okay. All right, 19 is to consider and or approve donations to Hutchinson County. I don't believe we have some. 20 is discussion of county judges and commissioners precinct daily operations. And I want to holler at Nancy because she has some info for us. And I think you all may have got the emails. I'm sure you did if you had a chance to look at them, that the library received their accreditation for 2025. And so we are congratulating the library and Nancy and her staff for all the hard work that they do for that. And then you also just got approved for the reimbursement.
Yes, interlibrary loan, so it reimburses us for the postage for the return.
Right, for the return of the books or whatever. Yeah,
I think we had 65 books because we changed systems. So next year it will probably be bigger because we'll have more. So, because we had a little bit of a lull, but I think it was a little over 400.
427 is what it says. Yeah. So that's awesome. Good job. Good work. Anything else at the library we need to know about?
I think so.
Okay.
That's Chris's corner.
Okay, do y'all have anything in regards to what's going on in your precincts or your facilities?
So at the library,
So speaking of the library,
they're texturing the wall of the children's area right now and getting all the cracks sealed up.
who's doing that?
It's a couple of people that were with Open Range, that Carl Novian.
Oh,
they did the
yes.
post, And
Uh-huh.
Brian Noble, who's an engineer.
Right.
It looks amazing.
They've textured it and it looks good from the settlement.
Good.
We're gonna, in next budget year, finish the painting of the children's area, and then they're gonna do the cracks of the outside, because we're just gonna try to keep the water out of that as much as
Sure.
possible. So, so that's what's going on right now.
Okay.
And then book sales in October
Yes.
coming up. But we have a meeting before that.
Third week in October.
October's gonna be busy because they have the quilt show at the museum starting October 1, book sale at the library.
That's what we say on the museum, the cowboy poetry thing. I mean, you were there too.
Yeah, it was
but
awesome.
They had, I mean, how many, I don't know, we had over 200 people, but they had 2 new performers this year and they were good.
They were
It
good.
was a good show.
Very good. Anything else, Ben? What's going on around the county or around your buildings?
The roof here in a few days, but we're hauling all the scrap metal off time roll and doing that stuff, but that's the main thing right at the moment.
Good.
The ads in the paper for the paving,
Oh, okay, good.
so for the courthouse annex.
Yes.
So approve the panic button system.
Oh, yes.
Anyone, that Jennifer, she had her baby, so she actually called me and asked me if I'd try to help with that project, so I'm now leading that thing down the road, so that is actually.
Other duties as assigned.
So that is actually starting this week, doing some programming today and tomorrow, and we'll be here Wednesday to start installing some infrastructure. So over the next 2 weeks, you'll probably see a lot of these people here doing the actual installations on the buttons in the offices and all that, so.
Good. Good. Thank you, Jerry, for stepping up. Gary, anything, the airport, we got the house there and it's set and they're still just working on the hookups, right?
Right.
Yeah, it looks really good if you have a chance to drive by. Really good.
Tag office, we're almost through with that. All they like are the countertops, and they're still waiting for them to come in, but they've got the glass, the door, everything looks real nice.
Uh-huh,
So
good.
it's coming along.
And then we're working on the fly-in at the, Baltazar's working with the city and they're doing an amazing job.
Yep,
And all that.
they're all excited about it.
Getting all that coordinated. So we all are excited that we're gonna have some action out there at the airport.
They have a B-25 come in.
The fly-in and the car show at the
Yeah.
airport.
What day was that again?
It's the 13th October.
That was the 12th.
Yeah,
I don't know.
about 3 days.
Oh, then the 12th.
So the Battle of the Bands is Friday the 11th, I think, and then Saturday's the flying. I think they're on 2 separate.
Yes. It is. So everyone come out to the airport for that. Anything else on the daily operations? Okay, 21 is struck off tax properties and deeds. I did not have any. So 22, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
Motion and second, all in favor?